Hi there guys, welcome once again to Jonesy's vlog. So with E3 just starting today, I thought there was no better time to make a video about Watch Dogs, as it was this time last year that I was so overly excited seeing the brand new sort of extended trailer and looking at how far Watch Dogs was progressing and looking at how, at the time, just how brilliant it was going to be. Everyone was dead excited about it. You know, it was the next big game that was coming, and I just thought, you know, now it's come out, was it worth the wait? So it was around 2009 when it sort of started getting developed by Ubisoft, and you know, people started talking about it after then, and it was at E3 2012 when it first sort of officially got released. And I didn't see it that year, but then I started, you know, obviously watching the first official trailer on YouTube, and obviously again people talking about it, so, you know, getting a bit more excited. And at the time, their Ubisoft creative director, what's his name, Jonathan Morin, actually said that they were wanting to go beyond the limits of today's open world games. So, you know, that was saying quite, you know, setting themselves quite a high target there. Bearing in mind that, you know, Grand Theft Auto 5 was just around the corner as well. And I think that kind of also went against them, as, you know, with Grand Theft Auto 5 coming out in the September, and the original release date of Watch Dogs was November. So, you know, they were going up against a, you know, pretty big competition in GTA 5. So like I say, you know, this time last year, they at Ubisoft's E3 conference, they obviously showed how far it was progressing, Watch Dogs, and like I say, everyone was dead excited for it. It was the one game I was really looking forward to, alongside with a few other games that had just been announced. So obviously then, like I say, it was November when it was due to come out, and that got put back because, to quote, they wanted to do further polishing to the game. And I don't think it's any coincidence that they decided to put it back just after, like I say, GTA 5 had come out, and just how breathtaking and how amazing that game was. And it seems to be the case that maybe they sort of panicked a bit. And anyway, so be that as it may, they put the release date back to what they said, early 2014. So obviously it's only just come out. May, whatever it was. And like I say, you know, everyone had been so looking forward to this game, and the anticipation, and I think it was maybe my own fault as well, and other people's faults, that we'd sort of put so much pressure on this game to be good, and there was so much expectations and so much that Ubisoft had said about it, and putting all these trailers out and all the pictures, and, you know, the graphics looked like they were going to be absolutely superb, and, you know, talking about this brand new kind of gameplay dynamic, and a new kind of game engine to do all this hacking. You know, it's going to be something completely different. And unfortunately, myself personally, I've been so disappointed with it. So disappointed. It's so much so that I've already traded it in, because I was just not getting on with the game whatsoever. And at first I thought it was just me, because I started talking to some of my own mates that were playing it, and they were enjoying it and they couldn't stop playing it. And I was starting to worry myself, like, you know, what, this is meant to be a good game, and other people are enjoying it. Why aren't I enjoying it? But, you know, then I did see other people start coming out, and more critics sort of being more overly critical about it, and sort of making points that I was thinking at the same time. So I started to think, you know, at least it isn't just me that's feeling that way. So what don't I like about the game? What's been disappointing? First of all, the graphics. The graphics for me is not what was promised, you know, by Ubisoft. And I know it's always the case, you know, the trailers that they show, you know, things like E3, it's very rare that the game ends up being as, well, the graphics end up being as amazing as what they show. And that's fair enough. But when, you know, sort of the people at Ubisoft and the creators of the game are saying that, you know, between conferences and everything, you do have that expectation there. And, you know, in a world of next-gen gaming, next-gen consoles, and, you know, when Grand Theft Auto came out, and that showed how amazing the graphics were on that, you know, you were expecting such a lot from Watch Dogs. And, you know, even after Infamous Second Son, which I've been playing on the PS4, you know, the graphics on that are stunning. And I was just thinking, meh. I mean, they're alright graphics, you know, they're not bad. They're not bad graphics, I'm not saying that. But there were nothing, you know, there were nothing special, there were nothing amazing. For me personally, I see kind of a lot of glitching, sort of getting in and out of cars especially. You know, kind of just clipping through the doors. Just in general, like I say, just nothing amazing really. One of the big down points for me was the driving, and I know a lot of people have been talking about that. For me, it was just very hard to get used to. But the thing that really annoyed me about it, it just seemed to be very like Saints Row style of driving, which, you know, in Saints Row is fine because it completely suits that kind of gameplay and it suits that style, and I don't mind that in Saints Row. I mean, it is a driving style that I find hard to sort of get on with, but I don't mind it in that. But in a game that is trying to be a really serious kind of game, I just don't see why they went with that style of driving. I can see why, you know, they were trying to be different in the game, but to have that style of driving, I personally, like I say, I can't quite understand it, and it was something that just really annoyed me, to be honest. You know, it was not very enjoyable, you know, bearing in mind that a lot of the game you seem to be chasing people constantly in the car, so a lot of the game is driving about. So I was just, you know, I really wasn't enjoying that at all, really. So that was a big letdown. The story itself, for me, was really weak. I mean, I didn't even get through, you know, maybe even half the game, to be honest with you. I was just getting so frustrated with the game. I was getting frustrated with myself for not liking it, feeling like I should like it. So, but I just had to get rid of it because I just wasn't enjoying it at all. So that's why I traded it in. So, like I say, I didn't get through the whole game at all. But from what I was playing of the story, I could not get into it at all. There was nothing grabbing me into the storyline. I thought the characters were pretty weak. I thought the actual writing and the dialogue was really lazy, to be honest. There was nothing that made me care about the characters, you know. I wasn't particularly interested to find out about, you know, what would happen later on in the story. It kind of made it obvious. Like I say, I don't know what's happened in the story. I don't know what happens at the end, so I don't even know if I'm giving a spoiler out here because I don't know what happens. But I guess as soon as I saw the sister and the fact that she doesn't like him doing all this, you know, hacking and everything, that she's probably going to die at some point. Knowing that his niece died, I'm guessing she dies at some point. You know, that was kind of made obvious. Obviously, tell me if I'm wrong. Although I don't want to spoil it for anyone that's wanting to play the game. It's just really disappointing, you know. I was just sitting there not wanting to get to know any more of this story or wanting to play any more of the game. And at the end of the day, you know, you want to sit down, start playing a game and wanting to complete it in one night and have that feeling of I must do this. Whereas with Watch Dogs, I was sitting down and after half an hour I just couldn't give a shit anymore because the story just seemed so weak and so poor. So, you know, the side missions, that seemed to be the more fun aspect of it for me. That's what I was enjoying more. But I mean, that says something, you know, when the story's so poor that you're wanting to do all those other things first. But even then, with the side missions, I started to find it was getting a bit repetitive. You know, unlocking the let's see, there's something, the towers anyway, you know, so you could hack all the other areas, you know. That was kind of enjoyable, although I did find it a bit too easy with the enemies. It just didn't seem to challenge me too much, and you know, I'm not a good gamer, so for me to say that is saying quite a bit. But yeah, I found a lot of repetitive with sort of the side missions. Like I say, there seems to be a hell of a lot of chasing people. You know, it reminded me a little bit of Assassin's Creed, having to sort of tail people and you know, keep up to them and chasing them and that. You know, obviously the big sort of selling point and the big focus on this game was the hacking. and the fact that you, in a sense, you know, you could control the place that you were living and the entire map, and you could hack into this city and hack into people, and obviously that was the main selling point. And like I say, yes, it is a good concept, and it is a good you know, engine that they're using, and a different style of gameplay. But even with that, you know, it was good. But it was nothing more than that for me. You know, I didn't think it was amazing or spectacular. It was just good. And I think the thing that annoyed me most about it is the fact that there's just so many things coming on the screen at once, and it didn't ease you into the game at all. It's just things constantly going on the screen, and I just felt a bit overwhelmed at first, and I just having to stop every sort of few minutes and think, right, what am I doing? What's that? Why am I doing that? And it's just, you know, you could be going from one mission to another, or wanting to, you know, do the story, and just things would constantly keep popping up, and you go off and do that. And it was, you know, like that can happen in Grand Theft Auto. You know, I keep saying about GTA simply because at the end of the day, that is sort of the mother of all open world gaming and open world games. And like I say, you know, the creative director said that, you know, it was wanting to, sorry, what was it said again? Go beyond the limits of today's open world games. So to say that, you know, they've got to go up against GTA, and for me, they failed massively with it. Like I say, you know, with the GTA games, you know, there's obviously side missions to do away from the main storyline, but there wasn't constant things just coming up like it was in Watch Dogs. It was in such a smaller, you know, map. There was just something around every corner to do, and like I say, it really didn't work for me. I think the thing is with this, it's not a bad game, but I don't want people to think that I'm slagging the game off completely. I'm not. It's a good game. It's not a bad game, but after, like I said, the build-up of it, I've just been left so disappointed with it. And like I say, that might be my own fault for getting my hopes up too much for it. But you know, after seeing a few other people saying it, at least I know it's not just me. But it's been such a letdown and such a disappointment, and you know, it makes me worry about, you know, the next game I'm looking forward to that I've just seen on E3 is The Division, and you know, I'm dead excited for that. But the fact that that's already been put back again, and it's going to be early next year again when that's coming out, I'm thinking is the same going to happen there as it did with Watch Dogs. But yeah, like I say, it's, if it maybe hadn't had the delay and everything, and it had come out when it said it was going to come out, and it hadn't been as big a build-up, maybe I'd have been alright with the game. But the fact that it had this delay, and people just kept hyping it up and hyping it up and hyping it up, that's why it just let me down. And like I say, I could not get into it, and that's why I no longer have it. So like I say, just major disappointment. And you know, you do get that with games, and it does happen, and you know, it's annoying when you save your money up for it and you get it, and you know, I remember putting it on and just sitting on bed and just thinking there was something wrong with me for not liking it and having these doubts about it. But yeah, it just wasn't for me, guys. And I know it might even up, you know what some people are like, and they get really defensive about it. But you know, I apologise, but it really did disappoint me, guys. But I want to let you to let me know what you thought of the game. You know, like I say, I know there's a lot more of you out there that are enjoying it than, you know, I know I'm in the minority here. But you know, let me know your thoughts on the game, what you like about it, maybe what you don't like about it, and you know, if like me, you feel like you've been sort of let down and just disappointed a little bit by it. But you know, hopefully there'll be something good will come of, you know, this year's E3, and you know, won't be as disappointed by things coming out next year that have been announced. So yeah, like I say, that's all I've got to say, guys. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, or at my Twitter at ChrisJonesLUC. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all very soon.